Hello everyone, it's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my co-hosts here with me. Hi ladies.
Good morning.
Nima in the building.
Yo, yo, yo. Looking extremely colorful and pretty.
Thank you.
I like your combination today.
Yesterday was our continuation of Salah, so we went out.
Yeah.
And we saw a movie.
You and Oga.
Your children.
You did carry Oga alone.
Yeah,
and my girls. Me and my children and my girls.
Her sisters.
And we had a wonderful time, I'm sure. Yeah. We had serious. Imagine that girl. Someone brought her child to the Fun Fair Center where I paid for her to have fun. And she just went to carry the girl. Come, don't worry.
She likes babies.
I'm telling you.
As in yesterday, I was
telling
shocked.
the mom, don't
Angela. Bless his baby. Angela. And she was really playing with her. I'm like, I think women are natural.
But waiting for you.
No, as in like girls, it comes innate. Like she's really small and yet she knows how to play with the baby.
Nurturing spirit.
She tries to feed her brother sometimes and change his diaper. I told her, stay off my baby.
No funny.
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing very well. So I had the whole day yesterday to review Sexually Confident Woman, and I'm very proud. I saw pictures and I'm like, Mama miss Goni event because as technical director, I was busy facing technical issues. Now, anybody who is a technician knows that when you put a stage in the middle of any event, you're going to have microphone feedbacks. So when we're arranging that thing, so you'll be talking to me, I'll be looking at you, but it's the sound that I'm hearing. But yesterday I saw
that.
No, I live for such challenges.
Well done.
But I saw pictures, on social media, and I was very, very happy and proud.
Fantastic. Well done.
Success.
I'm going to talk about that because I realized something that dawned on me yesterday. Most people feel that money would make them fulfilled and happy. Earlier in this year, I was complaining that I was feeling like there was something I needed to do, and I didn't have money. So I was feeling maybe it's because I'm broke that I'm so unfulfilled. But after the event, God brought the vision. It's like provision. God provided for the vision. I am back to like before the event. I'm very rich, no money, honestly. But I feel such sense of fulfillment, and I just realized that it's not about the money, because someone was asking me for money and I'm like, my entire account, I have less than 10,000. I said, it's not about the money. Right. You don't need to have the money. You just need to
have the idea.
You don't have vision. Have a vision, and God will bring what you need for the vision, and you feel fulfilled even without having money in your pocket. And just was
fantastic. Did you realize that it was the day that you spoke to me about that vision that we booked the venue,
and without money.
The day she spoke, I just said, let's go on a recce. We went to the venue and booked it. The date that she wanted, I said, Tokwe, if you want sponsorship, give me for 4 months. And we thank God.
Just thank it. Well done. It's good. So, live your dreams, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, so,
anything.
For me, I
How did you spend the holiday with your kids?
It was great. It was great. We had to do a retest for the school that we were trying to get into, and we passed.
Wow,
retest.
That's good.
In fact, I can't even tell you the percentage my children got in the first test. So we had to go and appeal, and they tried to allow us to have a retest, which we did, and we passed. So nice. We're going for the interview today. So hopefully we get in. And,
well done, mommy.
Alrighty, let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll look at the pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, starting with the Punch. National Assembly lacks power to insert new projects into budget, says SANS. Court didn't validate National Assembly bid to increase budget. Picture here of Double Festival in Kano. APC conniving with INEC to manipulate by-election in Osun PDP. 2 commercial sex workers or others die in Ondo crash. Masts, NCAA asks GSM operators others to obtain permits. Spain deports 23 Nigerians for drugs, others. Army invades, turns Lagos hotel into operational base. I read that story. I have no confidence in Nigerian security forces, said Niger governor. I'll attend Bible college after politics, says Bode George.
I will repent when I
France, see all is great. France will invest £1 billion euros in Nigeria all sector. Tambuwal leads Wike PDP stalwarts to Sultan. And Boko Haram claims abducting to 10 policewomen actually, threatens more attacks. All right, so which story?
Did you see that Boko Haram story? And I was a little worried that it didn't make headlines since it happened last week. Now,
I think it was on yesterday.
It was on yesterday, but it happened since last week, actually. That, was it 12 or 20? About 20 or 12
police women
were kidnapped, you know. They were escorting a convoy, and Boko Haram attacked them and kidnapped them.
Right.
And they made a video saying it is us who did this, and it didn't make headlines since then. Really and truly, news around that area takes time to get to mainstream media.
But in Sun actually saying that only civilians are missing. That's the police is saying. That's the reply from the police.
Yeah.
But let's take the human angle. Who has the
hotel in Ikorodu?
Yes, so
yes, the owners of the hotel are claiming through their lawyer, who has written now, that the Nigerian army took over their hotels. They actually took over 2 hotels in the area. Yeah. Because, you know, in this fight against militancy, and then they released the other person's hotel when he approached them. But the manager of this hotel, what's his name again? He tried to approach them, but he was arrested and detained for over 2 months.
Right.
They had to pay money to release him. He was detained at the Navy base in Apapa. Right. Now, in reply, the military replied the lawyer saying that the Lagos state government, you know, approved our siege over this hotel, authorized our taking over the hotel for as a military base pending the fight of this militancy in that area, and that, you know, approach the Lagos state government if you want your hotel back. Now, those are the sketchy details.
Now, the guy approached Lagos State government. I said they don't have any documents.
Lagos State is saying there's no such document. You should prove to us that.
You just go and take somebody's private property
any
and
of our
military base.
Now, that's why I want to pick the shaft out. Yeah. Lagos State government, if they authorize any such thing, the military should present that document.
That's what the government was telling him. Tell them to present the document.
The military who wrote to him, he gave them a letter where the military alleged that. The military should now present any such authority to him. Exactly. Yeah. That's on one part. Right. The military is not in any position to investigate or arrest, take over a hotel or take over a private citizen and keep it in your military base just because you are occupying his hotel.
Sure.
So these are total abuse of fundamental rights, and the people should use a fundamental enforcement order.
They should just go to court.
Moving on to The Nation. Security agents close in on quick notice sponsors.
And that's making headline.
Yes, pictures here. Dad dumps 3-year-old daughter in hospital. Our refinery will transform economy, says Dangote. Presidency, Amnesty Office sustain peace in Niger Delta. Evans, our lives in danger, says victim. Now, the quick notice, what they were saying here in the headline was saying that, in the story, that they've identified the 16, but they did not arrest them because they believe that they're better off going after the sponsors. That arresting them would have caused some kind of upheaval, which they were trying to avert. So by arresting them, they actually expected them to be arrested. The 16 were expecting, yes. And if that arrest had happened, it would have caused other ripple effects. So they chose not to, and then looking for their sponsors, and they're closing in on the sponsors.
I'm still wondering why it made headline.
So by the time they put it on the newspaper now, the sponsors will be waiting for you.
I'm still wondering why it made headline.
The story of the 3-year-old.
Security agencies are meant to keep these things private.
But they don't tell you that. You say nothing's happening.
No, there's a way they say, Morayo, come on.
Okay, let's talk about this little girl. Her mother and brother died in a kerosene explosion. She survived it. Her father brought her to the hospital and has been gone for 2 months. Disappeared.
Looking for
now, another woman who came to see her cousin, who unfortunately died, noticed this little girl that she comes here every day to see her cousin. This girl has no visitor. Now I wonder what's going on. Then her father abandoned her in a gas explosion. So they've been looking for help to pay her medical bills.
We need to go back to reviewing our NHIS. Because the idea is, if you have insurance to cover this bill, a father will not abscond because he doesn't know what to do. The easiest way is to just let me run away. I can't face the bill.
NHIS, as it is for government staff.
What if you didn't?
No. You private citizens can access it, but your premium is a little and the access is very little. So we need to review it. They need to review it.
Moving on to Vanguard, our rotten system. Fueling agitation, says Sultan. Stop seeing yourself as Igbo emperor. Apgag writes IPOB. Kanu. Arrest him now. Arewa reads FG. Seeking self-determination doesn't amount to declaration of war, says IPOB. Praying for Nigeria means continuous killing, oppression of Igbo, says Masop. And we don't believe in breakup of Nigeria, says Wike. Kolade, Anya, Adebanjo, others back restructuring. I've lost confidence in security agencies, says Governor Bello. Lagos school kidnapped day 35.
Whoa.
Abductors threaten to relocate victims. And call to work claims 10 in Akure as police arrest 20. All right,
the Sultan statement extends to everything. The
let me quickly establish it. Right. So the Sultan was visited by the Sultan of Sokoto was visited by the Sokoto State Governor and Governor of Rivers State, Governor Wike. And in addressing the issues of secession and restructuring and clamor, from different, regions of the country, the Sultan was saying that it's our system that is, bringing up all these agitations, that the system that we have right now is not working. Hence, this restructuring matter, all of us need to now start. There's no referendum in our constitution, but our senators, rather than fighting the executive, need to start thinking about a referendum. Exactly. Let us all decide that we want to be Nigerians as one, or we want to go our separate ways.
I want to quickly talk about the 35 of the Lagos kidnapping.
Yes, so
unfortunately, the kids have not been brought back. The kidnappers have gotten 10 million and they're still not willing to release them. Now they're threatening to relocate them further. Whatever their demands are, someone, I'm hopeful that, they are doing something already, but please, they should hasten it. I wonder how the parents will be coping.
It's a long time for it.
God forbid I look for a child.
Moving on to Daily Sun. Billionaire kidnappers saga, my life in danger by Evans victim.
I have that
Southern elders reject secession breakup. Nnamdi Kanu speaks on bail conditions. Oh, I wanted to read that story. Fears over female police officers' abduction claim. Only civilians are missing, says police. Nigeria's judiciary best in Africa, says Kalu. Obiano zoning and equity in Anambra politics. All right, so Evans victim.
Mr. Donatus, a pharmacist who is actually the reason Evans was finally arrested, he's saying that he's feeling insecure, because his staff member Emeka, who actually gave his details to Evans's team, has been released by the courts. There's another victim who's also saying the same thing, that he was unnamed, feeling that we're now vulnerable because not all members of Evans's gang have been arrested yet. And after reading the article that you sent to me about Evans' interview with the Vanguard and how he mentioned several times that he had been arrested and escaped,
and he went back to
I would be afraid also if I was one of the victims.
Right.
I think the police should do more to protect them anyway.
Yeah, but see, again, law. You have to follow the law. Once
the court releases,
granted bail.
Is that we want due process or we don't?
We want due process actually, but so they're not saying protect the victim.
They should even hasten prosecution. It should have started already. Exactly. Charge him and let's have a prosecution.
Moving on to the final paper, which is this day. Shareholders want a Etisalat takeover. Banks seek Mubadala prosecution. Rising unemployment gives me sleepless nights, says Dangote. Right. 3 EU countries deport 29 Nigerians, Togolese in leg chains. FG would address legitimate agitations by ethnic nationalities, says Oshimbajo. All right, so who read this day? We get to this day.
The deportees. I read
the ones from Libya.
The ones returned from 3 European countries.
I read the one from Spain.
The one Spain was part of them. There were 27 Nigerians, 25 male, 2 female, and 2 other Togolese, making them 29 in total. The dehumanizing way they were brought back is what concerns me. They were chained. Fine. They said they were threatened. They were a threat to the immigration officers, and that's why they were in chains, because some of them were deported for criminal offenses, some for drugs, some for immigration offenses. But then again, they are human. And this is where our own people that are receiving them.
Respect your people, they will respect your
people. So,
very true.
Very dehumanizing way.
So,
Etisalat and the banks,
we have to round up.
That's a very complex issue. We are hoping that they do the best for Etisalat. Okay. Everyone
That's
concerned.
all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, Africa to suffer massive unemployment crisis by 2050. And later on Let's Talk, we discuss business opportunities for empowering today's youth. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view
your view.
Thanks for staying with us. So a new research from the Tony Blair Institute has revealed that part of Africa could suffer a massive unemployment crisis by 2050. The report predicted a shortfall of 50 million jobs, which will serve as a wake-up call for governments across the continent as well as international donors and agencies. The report also found that countries with high economic potential such as Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone are failing to transform and achieve growth. With these statistics, what are the alternative ways for the Nigerian youth to gain employment? Now, what are your thoughts on this? Call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. So the research actually is very extensive. We're not going to focus on all the angles. But our focus really, because we're talking on unemployment for the Nigerian youth, what are the options? And I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I was telling that Chokpo was trying to solve a problem by initiating and starting this project. And we're saying young people must find a problem to solve. So we're discussing it because we need to bring it to the fore that young people must see themselves as solution providers. So what are your thoughts on this research and the direction for the Nigerian youth going forward? And
there's a Nigerian research that said that 2 million people lost their jobs in the last 1 year. In 2015, they were saying about 1.5. And they were projecting about 5 million people, you know, in the next 4 years. And that is huge, because before these statistics, we already had a huge unemployment rate. We even have a huge underemployment rate, you know. And so it is right for us to start to discuss solutions immediately, rather than have one source of income. As many people as can have 2-3 sources of income. So what small business are you doing on the side? And I find that this thing is, there's some gender issues. A lot of women are ready to do business. While they're in school, they're selling gold, they're selling hair, they're selling, but men are, you know, I go to school, I'm waiting for employment. So a lot of our young men these days are unemployed. So we must talk about solutions moving forward. If not, we're going to get into trouble.
In thinking about this, it's always confusing how we got here. I remember we were not so educated when we were the strongest in Africa back in the 70s. It was basically agriculture. We were farmers and we were very strong. Yes. We're not this educated. So by the time we got very educated, we were missing it. So I don't understand how we left, how we were entrepreneurs as uneducated people and now no longer employable as educated people. It's confusing anytime I see them.
Because the industries are no more. All the textile industries, all the various sectors. That's
exactly my point. And in the research that we talked about, the Tony Blair's analysis, they categorize Nigeria amongst other African countries, Ghana, Malawi, a lot of other African countries whose strength is in their people, the numbers and the ability of their people to till the soil, to do the work, the hard work. It's no longer easy for anybody to do the hard work. You don't even want to consider. I once talked to someone who was a graduate of mechanical engineering and electronics and all that. And the person was like, no, I went to school, I cannot, but you're a mechanic. Do you understand? So I really don't understand how this is not true. When we've derailed, we've lost the
So, how many of us want to farm?
I read about Singapore and how they have the highest number of millionaires in the world. 1 in 35 Singaporean citizens. Like, they have millionaires everywhere. As in, when you get 35, one person is a millionaire. Everybody is so rich. What makes them different? What did they have? They didn't have resources. It's the brain. It's the human beings taking up responsibility of bringing solutions to the table. When we talk about restructuring, I'm always talking about the fact that it is not restructuring that will solve our problem. Our problem is lack of good governance. But restructuring is vital because we've built a system of dependency where everybody looks up to the center and they won't work. They go there to get it. Our children are raised to understand that mommy will take care of me. Even when I'm 30, I'm going to be my parents, they will feed me, they will house me. We're not being pushed out to solve something and hustle our way through. And that is the beggarly attitude that has kept us where we are till today. And we cannot solve it until we start moving out.
Queen, you said something earlier that I wanted to throw a latch on. I was talking to somebody recently saying that initially I thought there were too many tailors, too many designers making clothes, everybody, every corner. But the problem is that they still disappoint.
Yeah.
A lot of dressmakers still disappoint. So obviously we don't have enough.
Yes.
Because if we have enough, everybody will sit up.
Yes.
And meet there. Because I have somebody taking my clothes for 2 months.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. I have somebody promising that, don't worry, by Monday, you will get it. I don't get it until maybe Friday. So the reason why we still get a lot of disappointment, because there's still room in that space.
I also think
so
that...
let me make the point. So the point is that no matter how many people are doing certain things, you can still be the best in that sector. So don't feel it's saturated. That was the point I'm trying to make.
Another option is that the work ethic.
Right.
In Bolomalo, anyways, there's nowhere to run to because everyone else is doing like that. You think your mechanic is stealing you blind. You go to the next mechanic, is even worse. You know, our work ethic, we have lost the moral of dignity in labor. How many of us, now, I think that the problem was when the colonialists came with their formal education, we lost our own informal education, where a goldsmith would
hand over his entrepreneurship
to his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren.
By the time a child is 12, the child
is already taken after your father.
He's already equipped, he's able to set up himself and, you know, provide for
Let me take Mubarak. Mubarak, thanks for calling. Go ahead. Are you there?
He's listening on TV.
Hello, Mubarak. From Lagos Island. Okay, we lost that.
I want to talk about something. The spirit of adventure. We used to know, I was told historically that Nigerians explored Africa. We were trading. We were going everywhere. Yes. The Ijebu woman, my mother-in-law said that she bought Ijebu rice in Benin consistently. And the Ijebu rice was being sold in the north. The Igbo man would go there. Everybody was doing something. They were willing to...
They were trading.
They were moving.
Yes, so.
And then we have a situation now where there are a few seen as lucrative jobs that somebody spearheaded. So Tara and Banke got into makeup and they made money. And everybody now only sees makeup as the way to make money. A few people made millions in tailoring and everybody now sees that. Why can't we begin to think of, and banking is what everybody wants to do. Whether you're a doctor or a lawyer, you want to work in a bank because it seems like all the oil company. Why are we not thinking creatively? We have a guest coming on this show that left his country and came to Nigeria. Like, I'm wondering, what are we all doing? Why can't you go to South Africa, go to Abuja, go somewhere and look for an opportunity?
All right, let me take Felix. Felix, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think the problem we're having in our country is, even for those that have the willingness to be an entrepreneur, there's no sponsorship from the government.
I don't agree with that.
That desire to do things in Nigeria. But you find that even when you want to source for money, the bureaucracy you have to follow, this BOI, they advertise every day and show us that they are helping people. Ask youth outside and tell you what they have done, how they have followed BOI and BOI has not done it. It's the rich that BOI start to give money. The youth that are trying to apply for, I know somebody that have applied for BOI since 1 year. After talking to you, they have not given anything. They called him and told him, yeah, you have a mistake in this form, you have to pay this amount, pay 10% of this. Nothing has been done, but they show us on TV that they are helping people. I speak with you. I have been an entrepreneur for more than 13 years. Okay. I have not been able to go beyond where I am, not because I don't desire, but because the money is not there. I was privileged to go to Lagos Business School. Upon completion, I was thinking, okay, the government will say, okay, let's try and see how we can help this kind of teenagers.
Okay, we can help you. All right. Thank you very much, Felix.
It's the mentality to arrive through shortcuts that is killing us. Some people would work at the same job until they do something different in a long time, up to 20 years before they make their break. But we celebrate the senators who don't have industry, who can sing, who are sitting there getting big monies and sing. And because of that, so a little person will be like, I've been doing the same thing over the years. How come this person don't build big house near me? Someone close to me recently just built a big house, and you know, this boy there for one country. What did they do there? What makes him different from me? Because you are not the same. You can be perfect once you're good at what you do. You feel fulfilled at what you do, not exactly about the money. you will do it to the point where you hit your jackpot.
Right.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be until, you know, shortcut. I just want to arrive. You want to go to the clubs and buy a bottle of champagne for 1 million naira.
Oh.
And before you say you have arrived.
You know, interestingly, before I got TVC's job, because when High TV went down, and I was home, you know, I just got married, I didn't have a job, we were home, and I started weaving hair. My neighbor, I was in 1004. I will knock on their doors. Hi, I live on 20185. I weave hair if you want me. I was doing that just to get by as an unemployed woman who was married. Before TVC now called me and said, okay, come over to TVC. So the point is that people don't see those little opportunities.
You see, when the military boys came and there was crude oil money that was free and they started employing everybody for doing nothing, spreading free money, that's where we lost our dignity in labor. Because I started another job, and I started empowering people. This job, some people will come and say, it's not selling, while somebody else that does not have money, you just see the opportunity. Come to me and say, Jumoke, I'm very interested. How do I do it? How do I sell it? How do I do this? And turn 0 naira to 100,000 in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So we have lost the dignity in labor.
Let me take this call from Kwara State. Abdul Ghani, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good
Thanks
morning.
for calling. Morning. Go ahead, please.
Ladies, how are you doing today?
Very good.
Very
Go
good,
ahead.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy for the discussions you are talking about today. But today, we don't have the graduates who are well-baked. We have half-baked graduates in our society today. One, let me start. I graduated from Bayero University, Kano in 1999. But I did not look for a white-collar job. But I started as a laborer, bricklayer. From there, in 1999, 2000, I got the job from Vamed International to mold blocks for nine university teaching hospitals. From there, that is where I started making my money. But today,
Nice one.
I'm not ready for that. Their dad, their mom are there for them. But today, let me tell you, actually, as I'm talking, I work in Kwara State University, Molete.
Yeah.
But as I'm working, I don't have money as when I was on my own. I just in University Molete just for a few years. And even though I got what I want, I have to quit and be on my own. Please, let us be a job creator, not a job seeker.
Thank you. I think we can end on that.
May I take a few tweets quickly? Okay. Oyelade says, our parents in Southwest made us believe education is the solution to our problems. That's wrong, because it's the beginning of it. Emmanuel says, 2050, then what are we facing presently in the unemployment sector? And Martin says, Westerners created lots of jobs, pushed out our local content making things difficult for fellow blacks. We're confused. And the final one, Bolu says, our kind of education is what is killing us.
Exactly. I think I agree. Okay, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll discuss with our guests business opportunities for today's youth. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Yes, thanks for staying with us. So the youth are at the center of absolute strength in any society. They think big, hope for the best, and envision a better tomorrow. However, with the numerous challenges nations are faced with, such as poor leadership and mismanagement of resources by their leaders, the dreams and hopes for the better tomorrow for youth seem to be diminishing. So we ask, how can Nigerian youth be successful today? Joining us on the show is an entrepreneur, success and life coach, Dr. Harry Benjamin. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thank you very much for having me here, man.
You can call us on 070-806-6814. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So I recently watched an interview that you had on a different station, and I saw that you were a medical doctor for 2 years, after which you said something about you wanted to drive big cars. You wanted to have the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, you know, and you wanted, there was that drive, there was that hunger to be rich, to be wealthy. And you started looking for solutions. And because you were dealing in cars earlier, you then started doing it on a bigger scale. I wanted to start from there, meaning that the drive, that thing that you felt that, okay, a doctor is driving this kind of car. This is not the kind of car I want to. I want to drive a Lamborghini. And this doctor is driving this kind of car. And my parents are saying it's only an engineer, lawyer, or doctor that you can be. So that drive, that fire that ignited in the beginning. Could you tell us about that? Because a lot of young people need to get that fire to get to the next phase.
Well, it started for me when I was a child watching this program called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Right.
Robin Leach, but today's version of it is MTV Cribs.
Okay.
So that cultivated in me the desire for a good lifestyle. And I wanted that lifestyle, and I wasn't willing to compromise my goal and desire for that lifestyle.
Okay.
Now finding a legitimate way to be able to finance or create that lifestyle. Yeah, very important. I realized that business made more sense. And what I later learned, and which is very important for us to appreciate, is wealth versus poverty. We oftentimes think we need to fix poverty, but what we really need to do is to create wealth. If you create wealth, poverty washes away on its own. Now, there's a dividing line between that, and I discovered that over the course of time. It begins with having that burning desire to succeed.
Okay.
So someone has to have that inner burn to be successful, and then that becomes the fuel which will push them forward.
Okay.
It's easy when you have the inner burn to have it, but to be able to contain it under a legitimate source of income is something that is very difficult where we are now. A lot of things would be attractive to you. How did you contain yours, and focus on the legitimate thing?
Well, one of the things about morals is that your conscience is something that develops over the course of time. Okay. Some people just won't do certain things because morals is something that comes up on our inside. I remember just my own experience when I just started in the automobile business. There were certain practices that business people used to do where they would lower the taxes by doing deals with the customs officers. And I realized that I grew after a while, I couldn't do that type of activity, just inside my own heart. I couldn't. And I realized that it's just an inner growth that happens. As people start to read more books, they start to indulge more in their own spiritual growth, it starts awakening them a moral center. And then they start to make choices that keep them away from doing illegitimate things.
Okay. So you left Florida to come to Nigeria 3 years ago without knowing anybody or even a word in Nigeria except Lagos. Now, what is it that foreigners see in Nigeria that we in Nigeria do not see as business opportunities that will make you leave everything, wealth, family, everything to uncertainty, to set up business in Nigeria?
Well, when I first came, I came on a whim of the possibility that we could do well with the business that we're here doing. And when I came, what caused me to decide to stay is what I saw. The strongest entrepreneurial spirit I've ever seen in any human being are in Nigerians.
For real?
I'm not kidding.
Hustlers.
The word came from Nigeria. And so we have a business that needs entrepreneurs, and this is the land of entrepreneurs. However, I saw that leadership was missing a bit, and I realized that there was the opportunity. If we could train, develop, coach, and have people develop their leadership skills, what we were doing would exceed and succeed. And it has been doing quite well. I have a lot of success stories of people in just 3 years.
One of which is Jumoke. That is in just 3 months.
In 3 months.
Yeah. Okay, so when I heard your story about, like I chatted with you and you were saying you came to Nigeria, for me that just stood out. That you were willing to venture out into the unknown. You've met Nigerians. One thing you can say is we're willing. What would you say is the problem? Is it we blame? What do you think? What would you say is wrong?
Leadership.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think is the problem? Why don't we achieve?
There's you mentioned Singapore, all right? And there's one dividing line in the world, not Nigeria. It's the world. There are 2 groups of people on the planet. There's the poor and the middle class as one group, and then there's the rich and the wealthy as another group. What divides them is their mindset. Now, the single thing is a principle called YOE, your own efforts. 98% of people are guided culturally or educationally into jobs or single businesses that they do. They end up living in the poor, the middle class, because there are only 24 hours in a day. The rich and the wealthy class, they use 4 principles and the word system. The principles are other people's time, other people's ideas and initiative, other people's money, other people's efforts or enthusiasm. If you look at the last 4 letters, it's time. So leverage is the key that rich and wealthy people use. Dangote sells salt, sugar, cement, and there are people outside selling the same thing, but they're not rich like him because he has 30,000 people doing it on his behalf. So that's the key. Now, if you want wealth, you have to embrace that principle. If you don't embrace that principle, you can't have wealth. And you know
that opened, because recently I have a fantastic idea that I'm working on in the background, and as I'm building this stuff, when I watched your interview where you said you had to decide between 100% of yourself or 1% of 100 people. And that for me opened my eyes to the fact that, listen, I can't just I have to engage people. For this project to expand, I need to engage multiple people in this vision. I need to transfer that vision. Now, the issue I have seen is people being able to transfer a vision to young people, helping them to buy into it, because
Leadership.
That leadership, they will lack that leadership to be able to get people to be motivated for one thing. How did you get to that point where you're able to get people motivate people?
Yeah, so the good thing is this. Understand the root word, motivation. Motive action. So the motive is why, right? That motive is something on the inside. So as you're interviewing people to collaborate with, what you need to find out is what is driving them.
Right.
And if you can figure out how to help them to get what's in them accomplished, then they will move. Because people are selfish, right? People are self-directed. So what you have to help them to do is to flesh out what's important to them. If you identify, because some people don't want anything. And if you don't want anything, you get nothing. So you have to find individuals who want something, and then once you have them who want something. So the difference between the poor and middle class and the rich and the wealthy is the size of their goals and the courage to go after them. Dangote, his goals are huge. So because they're massive, because of the result, he employs 30,000 people. If people have small goals, then maybe just their physical body alone, and maybe one other a spouse, and they take care of that. Even if the goal is school fees, a house over my head, then you don't need to do much to do that.
You're in a business that involves marketing and multi-level marketing. When you talk to me, I was like, multi-level marketing, a lot of people doing it. You know, how profitable is multi-level marketing, and how much success have you had in Nigeria?
Help us demystify this thing.
The whole thing.
There's this thing about,
doing networking.
don't go near it, MMM, LLM, XIA, ABA. I'm like, I don't even get involved. I mean, I'm happy for her success, but I don't even go. I can't touch it with a 10 people because there's just too much mystery over what the heck is it.
You know, and a very good point. You know, one of the things I learned from one of the leaders in the industry is condemnation without proper investigation. The heights of stupidity.
Hey! You just called me stupid.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
so, what we have to do is to go investigate, so the cloud can disappear.
Right.
And what happened for me was that I got clear understanding of what the business is, what the industry is. You know, a lot of times what ends up happening to us is that we get confused between businesses and Ponzi's. All right, MMM as a good example. The way to avoid those is don't desire something for nothing. If you want to put your money in and get money back and do nothing to get the money back, then that sets you up for chances of investing in something that's not good. Now, so once we say, okay, I'm willing to do some work, I'm willing to do what my part to get a return, then you will avoid making that error. The next thing now is to look at what's the product or service that is being offered. Is there a product? Is there a service? Because those are the two things that generate money in the world. So if somebody's not exchanging a product or service of value, then what are people paying for? So that will help us to avoid making the wrong investments.
Okay.
Now, in terms of succeeding, you know, let me give you some examples because we have some people who are young, 18, 20. One young lady, her name is Dunia Mako. She used to earn 14,000 naira selling dead skin products in the mall. She was introduced to the opportunity. That young lady now is lending money to her mother. All right, she's 20. We also have another young lady who lost her job in the bank. Her name is Monica Nyoka. She was working for 10 years, top business manager. You know, if you sneeze in the bank these days, they use it as a reason to let you go. She lost her job. Her husband lost his job in the airline at the same time. So both of them were without employment. What do you do suddenly? No money. She came to our presentation, she got involved. Her son benefited from the product. You know, his sickle cell crisis abated. You know, she no longer had to go to hospital every month because of the product, health benefits.
Okay.
But the important thing is that she supported her family for the last year. 2 years now, almost 2 years financially. No longer wants to work a job. She's earned several millions.
So you say investigate. Don't just say this might be a scheme. Find out
about it. Okay.
Thoroughly.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take some phone calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Tokwe?
So you are into network marketing, and there are many vehicles to carry out this network marketing, many products, many services, things that we all do. I did Mary Kay as a young girl, and at a point in time, you're worried that people would perverse this, to take advantage and turn it into something else. So how do you ensure that you stay true to the message, and how do you get people to even listen? Because there's this aversion that once you say network, they say network, I'm not interested. How do you get them to listen?
Okay, well, you know, I don't go about trying to get them to listen, you know, because if you push someone against their will, they eventually go back to their will. What we should do is to find people who are open and receptive. Now, their example will become a shining light that the non-receptive ones will now start to pay attention. For example, look at Richard Tucker, who came to Nigeria a couple of years ago. He's Jamaican. He came here starting the same business that we're doing, using the platform. And he used to take Damfo, Okada, Keke Marwa to go around to do the presentations. He now has his own Corolla. He's helped several people in Nigeria to earn millions of naira, in Abuja, in Lagos, and he's planning to go over to Warri.
Wow.
You know, these names we didn't even know when we got here.
Dr. Harry, you make it sound like, you know, you just got registered and all that became easy. How long does it take to become successful? How hard is this work? And how committed must you be for you to be successful?
All right, so let's look at hard, right? Because hard, all right? Is being poor hard?
It is very hard.
Okay, is becoming rich hard?
Yes, it is hard.
So it's just a matter of which hard we're going to choose.
Yeah. Let me take this call. Benjamin. Benjamin, are you there?
I like that.
One easy way in Nigeria.
Yes,
Benjamin, are you there?
Yeah, very well.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
How are you? How are you doing?
Well,
Good.
very
Go ahead, please.
I love your program so much.
Thank you, sir.
I've been watching your program for quite some time.
Thank you.
But just of recently, it looks as if your views, you know, veering off your target.
Oh, really?
Like this one, I don't know what you're promoting.
What is it?
Are you promoting your individual ideas or what?
Concerning what? Sorry.
Are you not apt to educate the public?
Okay, I didn't
You're
get that.
marketing yourself. Is that what you're apt to do?
Marketing. Okay, Benjamin is saying this as marketing, that we are marketing ourselves, promoting our own agenda. And I want to be the one to mention this. Everybody walks up to us on a daily basis that Benjamin doesn't know about. And every time they send a message asking for money, or come and help me pay my children's school fees, or come and help me do this.
Hospital bills.
Hospital bill. Every day we receive these phone calls, and we keep thinking, there is a real problem out there.
True.
People need to make money. People want to earn money.
In addition to that, okay, after the show, almost every day, there are 3, 4, 5, 6 people waiting for us at the gate.
Every day.
Standing. Saying, I need to pay my children's school fees. My husband is in hospital. I cannot pay medical bills. I need a job. I don't have this. I'm handicapped. So we are bringing solutions to you, giving you options. One is multi-level. You can start
we had an agreed person. We had an agreed person a few weeks ago. So we bring different options. We brought a Greek. We brought a blind person that was weaving. We brought many options. But the point is, we are bringing legitimate options.
Nigerians are not seeing the opportunities. They want to understand What exactly?
Well,
what's
the
the
problem-
agenda?
I think his problem
Hang it.
is-
They have the problem is the Nigerians are looking. What's the hidden agenda? What are you trying to achieve?
Yeah,
Who is sponsoring you? Who is the one? You know,
No,
instead
no.
of seeing the
The
opportunities.
problem for Benjamin is that we have a success story we are willing to celebrate on the show.
Right.
We refer to Jumoke twice, but because Jumoke is actually a success story, we've seen how successful she has been at this. We are willing to put her here, celebrate her, so that other people will be willing to not look at the fact that she had a job. She has somewhere to a platform already, but she was willing to look for alternatives.
Okay, so going back to our guest. Now, the Nigerian youth, as I said, they are very entrepreneurial. Let's leave the multi-level markets on the side. I want you to inspire young people out there on starting, seeing opportunities. Someone like you, as Chitoke has said, you left Florida. You came to Nigeria. How do we identify those opportunities in this country? Aside from multi-level marketing, what are the opportunities?
Well, the way to find opportunities is to look for problems. All right? Behind the problem is the opportunity. If you solve the problem, money comes. To the solution, not to the problem. Right? So if you focus on the problem, then you keep having more and more and more of it, and it expands in your view. But then if you start to think about, how can I solve this? Now, one of the big problems that exist is people don't have income. Right? So therefore, then, if you help people to create income for themselves, then you're providing a solution. We're working on a project called Project 50,000. The goal is to help 1,000 families earn at least 1 million naira in income in 12 months. I've been pretty successful so far in helping about 55 so far climb over 1 million. I have some who have earned several million. I have a couple who has bought a home and a car in just 3 years. And for 8 years worked as a manager and was unable to do that.
Let me take this call from Timmy Talk. Timmy Talk, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the program right now. I think this is my first time listening to the program. It's really a nice one. I'm a student.
Thank you.
I'm currently my school actually on strike, but what was that? It should be a good thing when our youth learn to understand that we don't have to depend on government. I'm a nursing student, and then, but despite that, I am an upcoming entrepreneur. To be candid, it is not easy. And I'm really enjoying the doctor. I think we need to be disciplined and then patient, because when you're starting things like being an entrepreneur, it's not something that's easy at all, because I spent every of my peanuts on my business that I'm coming up with.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to take it few tweets. Four Corner says, hi Stella, restructuring will not be at the instance of any elder statesman. Ponle says, unemployment is a choice. If you have hunger for wealth, you would create something out of nothing. Omeka says, nothing like opportunities for Nigerian youth. If you don't have Godfather, we only live by God's grace and nothing more. Adebayo says, excuses are the major reasons why people refuse to do things. How do you overcome that? And Blessing says, what is the best thing to do when you don't have enough capital to start up a business and there's no loan available?
Somebody answered and said, do manual jobs to earn your startup investment.
Okay, so people who are looking for opportunities, how can they reach you, Dr. Benjamin?
Harry.
We'll talk. Let's not go there, because that's the marketing.
Information.
But I need to transfer one information that I got from Dr. Harry. And I think that's the same model that Tara used and we've seen. Don't focus on what you're doing. Focus on how you can make other people do what you want to do in that multiplier effect. For example, Dangote, Tara was a makeup artist. She started not just being a makeup artist, she started empowering young people to be other makeup artists where she was spreading out. So she started building an industry. So if you are an entrepreneur today, you make cakes, you make clothes, you do makeup. Don't just look at it, me want to do cakes. Start empowering other people. Create that network of people who create cakes. They are someone going to be connected to you, because eventually you're like the pioneer of that. But think of that multiplier effect. That's how you create wealth.
And don't give up.
Am I right?
Correct. Because you can't do it on your own. If you think you could do it on your own, you can't have wealth, because there are only 24 hours in a day, and that's the challenge. Right? So the hours that you could work are already limited.
Fantastic.
So the only way to multiply that is to create more hours through other people's efforts.
Fantastic. Cool. All right. Thank you so much, sir. We have to round up. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. Can we have time for one tweet?
Okay. Daramola says the guest is on point.
All right. That's it. Let's end.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's all. all we can take on the show. Have a lovely day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.